What's up guys, Maniacs here, and welcome to A Million Faces of War. Now, this game came out on Game Jolt today, and the reason I wanted to play it is because it has a very, very good story that it's trying to get across, and it also, has a really nice art style to it. Now, this is the beginning of the game. I haven't gone any farther than this. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't say the title of the game, but, you know, I memorized it from doing. So, what this game is about is it's about... it's a point and click adventure, but you're going to be making decisions, and it's about a soldier who went to war and then returned home, and you have to deal with the consequences and actions when you return. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they were going for. I don't want to go more into it because this whole situation, it's a really big political situation. I don't want to say my opinion on it in any way, shape, or form, but I will say that I've never had anybody close in my family, at least close to me, that has ever had to go to war and then come back, and I've never had to see anybody deal with this type of situation, but I know it's a very stressful and very heartbreaking situation that some of these soldiers have, where they come back home and they don't know how to deal with themselves after they've been over there fighting and everything. And I also want to do this because, you know, even though I might not agree with all the situations that's going on in Iraq or Afghanistan. Sorry if I said that wrong. I don't really agree with this war in any way, shape, or form. I'll absolutely be the first one to admit that. But, you know, it holds such a big impact on the world around everyone every day. No matter, you know, even if you don't have anybody in there, you know, there's still soldiers over there fighting for, you know, what they believe in and what their freedom for us Americans. So I wanted to play this because, you know, this type of stuff, this doesn't really get said as much. You really don't hear about people returning home from the war or whatnot unless something bad happens. So I don't know, that's as far as I want to go with that. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what the game continues on with. Okay, start off with a girl crying and this guy dead. Awesome, great. Do I have a mouse or... Oh, so there's a I don't know who that's supposed to be. There's a dead girl. Okay, so I have arrows down here, so I have to make a choice. I can either stay here and mourn, or I can run. But obviously, you guys can tell there's a war going on in the background. So let me see what this is. Oh, okay. So it has factual things. Now these aren't these are factual parts that were taken and they implemented into the game. So you have to make a decision about what your character's going to do in this situation. So I'll go ahead and read this. The Kosovo War was an armed conflict in Kosovo that lasted from February 28, 1998 until June 11, 1999. It was fought by the forces of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, by the time consisting of the republics of Montenegro and Serbia, which controlled Kosovo before the war, and the Kosovo Albanian rebel group known as the Kosovo Liberation Army, or KLA, with air support from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, from March 24, 1999, and ground support from the Albanian Army. As part of Operation Allied Force, Operation Noble Anvil by the U.S., NATO warplanes bombed city areas, including the Serbian capital of Belgrade, killing several hundred people in Serbia and Kosovo. Wow, I never even heard about this. So do I run, or I should probably run because the place is getting destroyed. Because if I don't run, it's a sad thing, I understand. But if I don't run, then I'm probably going to end up getting killed. A stone thrown in a lake creates ripples. They spread to every corner. We think we are far away, but those waves reach us too. The art style is beautiful in this game, and the music is great. A million stones, a million waves, a million faces of war. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where no matter, even if it doesn't have anything to do with you, or if you don't have a close family member or anybody in your family serving in the military, it still affects you no matter what you want to think about it. Even if we don't want to think about that it affects us in any way, shape, or form. Wow, this is really cool. Hey man, I just read your newest article on drones killing a lot of innocent people. You're always good for a dramatic story. But listen, we need somebody to report right from the front of the war zone. It's a huge opportunity for you. The thing is, the Pentagon hired a private company doing background checks on everybody who they allowed to go with troops, and this article won't look good for you. Do I publish or delete it? Publish. I'm always about the truth. Even though, I know this is kind of getting off topic about this, But no matter what in my life, if I did something wrong or if somebody did something wrong to me, tell me the truth. No matter how hard the truth hurts. I guess that kind of goes with like relationships and stuff too. Like if you don't want to be with somebody, tell them. Don't drag the situation on and don't try to cover it up in any way, shape, or form. Be true to yourself. In the deep down, you always know that, you know, even telling the truth might hurt. It's still the right thing to do. At least in my opinion, I've always believed in that, no matter what the situation might be. If I broke something, I blamed it on myself because I'm the one that did it. I take complete blame for anything that I do in life, especially for something I do in like my job, anything like that. I've always been the person that likes to tell the truth. I don't like to beat around the bush, and I don't like to lie, even if it hurts somebody. So I'm going to publish. Oh. So we both know why you're here. The country needs to train the youth, so we are able to protect ourselves in case of war. Okay, let's begin the medical examination. Do you have any chronic illnesses that may restrict your ability to absolve your military duty? No. I'm truthful. I'm going with truth on this. If you guys want to play this game and you guys want to, you know, make your own decisions, I highly recommend it. This game has a very beautiful, like, art style and everything. It's simple, but it's really nice. So I'm going to make my decisions. If you guys want to play this, you can do your own decisions whatsoever, but I'm going to go with what I believe in. That's good to hear. Please urinate into the beacon. This will do some quick checkups. Suitable for duty. Even if I don't agree, with some of the decisions, I'm always going to go with the truth, so I apologize. Okay, last test, kid. Shoot your mother then you'll be a good soldier. Oh, God. No. Fuck you. I'm not doing that. Oh, I probably should have pulled up the info. My apologies on that. I forgot about the info thing. The military use of children takes 3 distinct forms. Children can take direct part in hostilities, child soldiers. They can be used in support roles such as porters, spies, messengers, lookouts, or they can be used for political advantage, either as human shields or in propaganda. That was a huge thing during like the Vietnam War, and even today, it's a huge thing that should not be ever used. Throughout history and in many cultures, children have been extensively involved in military campaigns, even when such practices were against cultural morals. In World War I, in Great Britain, 250,000 boys under 19 managed to join the army. In World War II, child soldiers fought throughout Europe, and the war saw uprising in the Jewish resistance and in the Soviet army. Since the 1970s, a number of international conventions have come into effect that try to limit the participation of children in armed conflicts. Nevertheless, the Coalition to Stop the Use of Child Soldiers reports that the use of children in military forces and the active participation of children in armed conflicts is widespread. And that's absolutely true about it today. I never believed in any of that stuff. It's bullshit. Let a kid have his life. Like, my childhood kind of sucks. Granted, it was just boring, but compared to these kids that get thrown, like, oh, you're old enough to hold a gun? Here, take this gun. Now go fight. That's bullshit, in my opinion. I don't care where you live. You should be able to at least enjoy some of your childhood. So I'm going to disobey, even if it kills me. That's usually the thing that happens, too, if anybody's ever heard of any of those stories. Oh, the person denied it, but then again, you know, they'll turn around and kill both the parent and the kid. So, no, I would never, ever be able to do anything to hurt either my parents, my friends, any of that. Like, even if it was like, I know it sounds stupid, but like a zombie apocalypse, a lot of people go with, oh, you know, they're not your parent, you're not your family anymore, they're not your friends, you know, they're undead enemies that want to kill you, they're undead zombies. I would still have a hard time doing anything like that, and I'm sure anybody nowadays would. So, fear the terrorist attack, rising citizen, feel less safe. Oh, let's look at this. In the United States, gun sales are often driven by fear and anxiety. December of 2012 remains the record month for gun sales at 2,783,765. Midway through that month, a gunman killed 26 mostly kills at Sandy Hook Elementary and Newton, Connecticut. That was a big thing. I'm sure a lot of people remember that. The massacre led to the fear of not being able to protect oneself in society. Additionally, a tighter restriction led to a fear of general weapon bans. So this situation right here, I've never heard of a gun store raising or lowering the prices of a thing. Now, granted, I don't usually go out and buy guns or whatnot, but it's this type of situation where, okay, if I raise the prices, maybe not a lot of people will buy the guns, but if I lower the prices, it'll give people that don't have as much money the ability to protect themselves. So this is a huge political type game. So if anybody watching this doesn't agree with the things that I choose, you know, I apologize for that, but I'm going with what I feel is right. Now, if you would love to go in and play this for yourself and make your own decisions, you can absolutely do that. I will put a link to the game in the description below, but I'm going to do what I feel is right, you know. I'm not going to let anybody bully me. If you say, oh, that's wrong, or oh, that's right, I go with what I believe in. I don't care what anybody says. Just like I don't care what anyone says about what I watch on TV, what shows that I watch, what music that I listen to. I don't care what people think. It's what I believe in and what I like, and everybody should be like that. You should never, ever let anybody doubt you or like put you down for stuff that you enjoy doing. I'm not talking about guns. I'm going with, like, for instance, me doing this YouTube channel. I'm doing this because I want to. I don't have a lot of views. I don't have a lot of subscribers. The people that do watch me, I really appreciate it, and I'm glad I can make you guys laugh, or I'm glad you guys can enjoy my games, or I'm glad you guys can enjoy my videos. But I'm doing this because I want to, not because anybody's making me, and I'm not going to stop because it's fun. So this is a really hard decision, though, in my opinion. So, but it was talking about, I would lower prices, honestly. I would rather hand out guns to families, like parents that want them, so that they can. Oh, okay. I'm walking to the desert. I would rather give people the ability to protect themselves. Now, granted, I know I'm not. This isn't speaking for everyone. I know not everybody's a psychopath, and like that asshole that went and killed all those kids in that school. That was bullshit, and yes, that should have never happened. But you cannot take away guns for everybody in the world because of one fucking asshole. Like that, I never agreed with any of that. If people are right in the mind, they should be able to buy a weapon so they can protect them and themselves and their families. There's no excuse. Oh wow, those people's place just got destroyed. I'm sorry. Go to the refugee camp or take a boat. Oh, I gotta read this. A refugee is a person who is outside their home country because they have suffered or feared persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, or political opinion, because they are a member of a persecuted social category of persons, or because they are fleeing a war. Such a person may be called an asylum seeker until recognized by the state where they make a claim. Apart from physical wounds or starvation, a large percentage of refugees develop symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, or depression. These long-term mental problems can severely impede the functionality of the person in everyday situations. It makes matters even worse for displaced persons who are confronted with a new environment and challenging situations. They are also at high risk for suicide, and that's a very big thing, especially now. So go back to the refugee center or take a boat. Yeah, but how far away is the boat? I wouldn't want to be in a refugee center. Granted, you would want to find your own people. I would go to honestly, in my opinion, I would, because if you go to a refugee center, like if you get kicked out of your home, or if you get kicked out of your city where you live, I would want, and like I wasn't near my family, I would go to the nearest refugee center so that I could figure out like where people that I know are, where my family and friends are. Probably every conflict is fought on at least two grounds: the battlefield and the minds of people via propaganda. The good guys and the bad guys can often both be guilty of misleading their people with distortions, exaggerations, subjectivity, inaccuracy, and even fabrications in order to receive support and a sense of legitimacy. Sorry guys, I'm having a hard time reading these big ass words. The military often manipulates the mainstream media by restricting or managing what information is presented, and hence what the public are told. For them, it is paramount to control the media. Propaganda in totalitarians, I believe, regimes is easy to recognize for its blatant and crude methods. In democratic societies, propaganda exists as most of the above attest to. but it is harder to see. As a result, it is important to keep such elements of propaganda in mind when we see coverage of conflict or even other issues in the media, regardless of the media organization and their apparent reputation. I would go with national news. An Afghan soldier opened fire on U.S. troops in Afghanistan on Wednesday, wounding 3 before he was shot dead by American troops. An official and an eyewitness said the incident happened after a meeting between Afghan provincial leaders and a U.S. embassy official. I don't watch the news or anything. The only thing I care about in the news today is stuff that happens to me and my local town and the weather. Oh. This is a PTSD situation right here, guys. You see, this soldier, he's suffering from the memories and everything that... Yeah. Stuff like this happens daily. I remember this story that my, oh man, about the kids. I remember this story, that, my English teacher told me, or... See, okay, this is the thing. After being exposed to combat situations, a lot of soldiers need to be treated for all kinds of health issues, ranging from back pains, migraine, headaches, to post-traumatic stress disorder. According to Ohio Department of Health statistics, the total number of unintentional prescription drug overdose deaths in Ohio more than tripled between 2001 and 2011. A study funded partly by the Veterans Health Administration found veterans dying of accidental drug overdose at a rate nearly double that of the general population. See, this stuff's always bugged me. You resist. As much as it hurts, in my opinion, I honestly, I don't want to give my opinion on this because this has never happened to me. I've never had to face that type of situation. But there was a story that my, can I please have some more? It was not enough for me and the child. Okay, what I was going to say is, the story that he was my, he wasn't my history teacher, he was my English teacher, I'll go with that. He was in junior year of high school, and he told me about a story about I think it was his cousin or his uncle, where they were at Thanksgiving one year, and his uncle had just came back from the war. I'm pretty sure it was during the 90s, so I'm pretty sure it was the Gulf War. Now, somebody accidentally knocked something over on the table, and his uncle, like without even thinking about it, stood up, crouched down, and held like a gun. Like he wasn't even holding anything, and held his gun up like that, like pointing in the direction of what had happened, like just instinctively. And he, like, it had been years since he had been at war, but it was still something that bothered him. And that's what that soldier was going through a moment ago, the one with the mess that didn't have half of his leg. He was still remembering all the traumatic instances that happened. And I can't say that I've ever dealt with anything like that, so I'm not going to. But, you know, I'm just trying to... It's kind of opening up people's, I guess, perspective on this type of situation. You don't hear about a lot of this stuff, but it happens in the world today. A refugee is oh, that's the same... Okay, refugees camps are generally... Okay, the second part is something I haven't read yet. Refugee camps are generally set up in an impromptu fashion and designed to meet basic human needs for only a short time. Due to crowding and lack of infrastructure, some refugee camps are unhygienic, leading to a high incidence of infectious disease, including epidemics. If the return of refugees is prevented, often by civil war, a humanitarian crisis results. Yes, absolutely. Give more. I absolutely would. That's ridiculous. Like, I know I should have chosen the boat earlier, but I've never... I know this is your job, but do you really have to leave? Okay, I want to pull this up real quick. When a family member goes to war, the impact on those left at home can be challenging. Readjusting after your service member returns can also take time. That's probably the hardest aspect of it. Know that the entire cycle of deployment can be a painful and frightening time, particularly for children. Family members need to be heard without judging or criticizing what they say. People may need to just express themselves during this time. The more family members can communicate with one another, the less long-term strain there will be on the family. In the U.S. military alone, 6,727 deaths were registered since 2001, which make an average of 1.5 deaths per day. Sorry. That's this is a part that I was talking about. Like, this is the hardest part. Like, if anybody's ever seen any of those reaction videos that people post online with, like, the father coming home or the mother coming home after war, or somebody coming home and like they're meeting their kid. Like there's a bunch of them where the father will come home and he'll meet his kid at like school or something like that, and just the reaction on both of their faces, seriously, it makes me tear up whenever I see anything like that. I can't watch that stuff because it makes me cry. Like the emotion that you see in both the girl and the people around him, and the father, especially, and the daughter, like especially when they're young kids, when they're only like 4, like they look up and all of a sudden they see their kid, and you can just see the joy and like the sadness on their face. I'm starting to get a little emotional just talking about it, but that stuff, I can't watch it because it makes me tear up. Like I don't know, it's something about me, that stuff, you know. It's not an irky feel. Like it's a good feeling when you see stuff like that, but then again, in your back of your mind, you're always thinking about, okay, what about those kids that don't have their parents that come home? And that stuff always bothered me. So do you comfort or do you promise that you'll return? That's a good situation too. Sorry, some of these decisions are... I'm gonna go with promise. I promise you that I will come back. Now, that's good sounding, but obviously it's not a promise that you can keep, and nobody can keep it. I don't know, that stuff. This game is... Ugh. What do we got here? Minefields in Croatia covers 587.2 square kilometers, 226.7 square miles. That's a shitload of minefields of territory as of July 29, 2014. The minefields are located in 11 countries in 82 cities and municipalities. I think I said that wrong. These areas are thought to contain approximately 64,387 landmines, in addition to unexploded ordnance left over from the Croatian War of Independence. As of April 4, 2013, a total of 509 people have been killed, 1,466 injured by landmines, and 1,352 incidents in Croatia. Aftermath. Okay, you should probably put a comma there. Between 1996 and 1998, there were approximately 100 civilian casualties from landmines per year in Croatia. 16. I don't know why that's there. That's probably because they just copy and pasted it. But the number gradually decreased to less than 10 per year by 2010. The most significant economic problem caused by mines in Croatia is their impact on tourism. Theft of minefield signs is a significant problem and is particularly pronounced in areas with concerns among the local population that the signs harm tourism. That's a really bad. Yeah, that's very bad. I'd rather go to the city. The city, you would think, would be more... I really hope. You would think that they would try to clear the city, the area around the cities the most, because that's where the most population is. You're not going to find probably, I don't know, I've never been there before, but you're not going to find as many people in the cities as you will in, like, nature and stuff like that. So, now what's the situation? Oh, he's going through it again. Honey, you don't look good. Is everything alright? Do you want to take your pills? Oh, it's the same exact thing. I would take the pills because I didn't take them earlier, and it was talking about overdose and everything. That's another thing too, is soldiers will come back, they'll have PTSD, and they'll be suffering from that type of situation. Oh man, this is another thing that I can't stand. Stuff like this, it irks me. It really does. That's the same exact thing that I said earlier. That stuff bothered me too. It's his soul. He was killed in active duty. He was killed in action. Oh no. What's this? Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah. One new message. It's probably from a family member who just heard about what happened. Martin, I know it's tough for you, but that doesn't mean you need to be so mad at everybody. I only asked you to go out with me. I understand if it's too soon, but you could at least be polite. I would call my friends, honestly. In my opinion, it might be too soon. Your friends are your best option when it comes to that situation. I don't know how long it's been since... Hey, do you want to hang out? I have other plans. And since when do you care? Oh, she drove her friends away too with that whole situation. I can't say that I understand, but I can see the perspective of them. Like, that's, you witness the stories of died in the same bombing as her husband because she stayed to comfort him. Lost his job as a reporter and became homeless. Was sent to war and died after only 1 week of duty. Was shot by his recruits. Died in a shooting rampage by some stranger. That was the gun store clerk. Thinks highly of the military. She survived, but many others died because of starvation. Visited a lot of souvenir shops. So he's the only one that had a good outcome. Died because of an overdose. Still single and distanced herself from social life. So my decision sucked. That's what I got from that. So that was really bad because when I was playing this, you know, I was explaining what I was going with, and like, oh, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but now after you see the final outcome, you know that there's always going to be it's like the chaos theory. It looks terrible, but you know, because I just said that wrong. It all comes full circle to the point where no matter what decision you make, there's going to be some type of bad outcome. That's just karma in everyday life. So this was a very good game because it kind of showed you, even if you think you're making the right decision, you could be making the wrong decision, and your decision could be hurting somebody else no matter what. What the hell? What was that? Okay, so the music, the graphics, everything about this game was great. If you guys would like to play this, like I said before, I will put a link to it in the description below. I highly recommend checking the game out. It is a very good game. It raises a lot of different questions that people might have even today. I am just going to put up the title screen right here because it just faded to basically back to my desktop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game for what it was. If you guys don't agree with the decisions that I made, go and play it for yourself and see what the outcome is. I'm not going to play this again because it's going to make me cry if I play it again. And it was a really good game, and it makes you think about your actions, like I said, because I thought, oh, I was making the right decisions. Well, it turns out that I had very, very poor decisions. The only guy that actually survived and had a good outcome was the guy that I sent to the city instead of going to nature and getting blown up. So, sorry, I'm shaking my screen here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this game for what it was. It was a very good game. I highly recommend it. So I would go play it if you guys want to make decisions yourself, or if you agree with my decisions. You know, I don't want to start a comment war in the bottom, like people saying, oh, I would have made this decision, I would have made this decision. No, you're wrong. Please don't do that. If you want to make the decisions yourself, I know I've just kind of fumbled my words there. If you want to go make the decisions yourself, go play the game yourself. If you guys, you know, even if you don't agree or disagree with what I did, that was my opinion, and you guys saw the outcomes that I had. So basically, I was an asshole, I guess is what it was. So I know this was a really serious game compared to some of the other stuff that I played, but this game, I thought this game deserved a playthrough of it, mainly because of what, you know, the situation is and everything. So let me know what you guys think of this game in the comments below. What do you guys like? What did you guys like about this game? Please don't start a comment war. I know I don't have a lot of people that watch these, but please don't start, you know, fighting back and forth between other people, you know, and saying you're wrong, you're right. Don't do that. But let me know what else you guys think. Did you guys like the music? Because I really love the music. Did you like the graphics? You know, what did you guys like about this game? And definitely go check it out for yourself. So again, thank you everybody so much for watching. Check out some of the other videos that I've done, and I will see you guys next time. Maniacs out. Ah! What's up, dude? So what I was doing there is what the fuck is Slenderman, go away.